For we are all just fragile things, soft and small, and haven't been here before. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by shorts. Sorry, I got distracted. I need to find the stream. Also, yes, I have had that song stuck in my head for the past couple days. Okay, yay, the audio works. Yeah, I finally got the chance to actually sit down and watch Centaur World, and like I have had fragile things stuck in my head for the past couple days. For we are all just fragile things, soft and small, and haven't been here before, where the outside can harm you, reject you, but just stay close, and I will protect you. Hi! Hey, Blueberry, how are ya? Hi, Bluebird. What's with the two dots? You doing okay? Is everything alright? Are you okay? You okay? Yeah, it's sort of a dot there. Which either means you added an extra period by accident, or you were going for a sort of like dot, but you missed one of them. Are you okay? If you don't feel comfy saying in the live stream chat, you can message it to me on Discord. You alright? Oh, there's another person watching. And then yes, words. My words good, yes. That's strange. YouTube says only one person is watching, but Prism Live says 3 people are watching. What? What's the scoreboard looking like? Okay, now they've synced up to where there's 4 people watching. Hello! Hi, everyone! We're doing a stream where I yap about things. Shut up, alarm telling me to take my pills. Also, yes, I'm aware it's the middle of the night. I'm a nocturnal creature. Hey-oh, hey, Ray. Hi, Ray. So, you guys want to hear about a childhood obsession of mine that I recently, revisited with my dad? You're probably gonna hear about it anyway, just figured I should forewarn you that I will ramble about this. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. It's me, Ray. Yeah, it is. You and me both, very yes. Yes, very. So, okay, hang on, I gotta find a couple things around my room. I gotta grab things for the stream. Yeah. Okay. So, what did you guys... Let me start this with, like, sort of 2 questions, but you could consider it 1. What did you guys watch when you were growing up? And what was your very first magical girl anime? Trust me, there's a reason I ask this. And the reason I asked that question about, like, what's the first thing you ever watched and, like, what was your first magical girl anime was because when I was younger, like, little girl, maybe a preteen, I don't fully remember, there was this show on Netflix I watched called Glitter Force. And if y'all actually know the anime better than my filthy commenter ass did, you probably knew it better as Smile Precure. But because I am a filthy American, I knew it as Glitter Force, and I knew the main cast as their casual names being Emily, Kelsey, Lily, April, and Chloe. And now that I'm saying it out loud, why was April the only one that didn't have an E sound at the end of her name? Anyway, and I knew their hero names as Glitter Lucky, Glitter Sunny, Glitter Peace, Glitter Spring, and Glitter Breeze, who for the past 2 days I thought was named Glitter Winter. And I was talking about this with my dad. I'll get more into that in a minute, but I've been talking about this with my dad because we were revisiting shows that we watched when we were a kid. And, I had been calling her Glitter Winter. And I thought, like, yeah, 2 of them are named after seasons for some reason, and the rest of them just aren't. And, like, I was, like, getting ready to stream, and, like, listing them off to myself. And, like, I said out loud to myself, like, no, that doesn't sound right. And then I remembered, Glitter Breeze! Her name was Glitter Breeze! I'm an idiot. When I tell y'all I'm stupid. When I tell y'all that I am a dumb idiot. So, yeah, it was... It was not Glitter Winter. It was Glitter Breeze. Chloe turned into Glitter Breeze. I watched this growing up, and they eventually removed it from Netflix, and I didn't know why for the longest time, and I was sad. But, my dad and I were talking about it, and he actually did some research. He did some poking around, and he found out why it was taken down. So, first of all, for the longest time, I didn't know the anime by its actual proper name. I knew it as Glitter Force, because that's what Netflix told me it was called. The original name of the show was Smile Precure. Precure was like this whole magical girl series. It had several seasons. Apparently Glitter Force was season 9, I think, if my terrible memory is serving me correctly. Yeah, it was season 9, and apparently they editorialized a lot of stuff, removed a lot of the scenes that made the show very clearly Japanese. They changed all the characters' names to Western versions of their names. Which makes me kind of curious. What were their names before Netflix got a hold of it? What were their original names in Japanese? If anyone knows, feel free to let me know, because I clearly don't remember. What pisses me off about the little chat thing here, it makes my life a lot easier, but I can't scroll up. SpongeBob SquarePants. I've been talking about Magical Girl show. The first one for Sakura. So you guys were talking about Glitter Force. Okay, so I'm not out of my mind. There's a video about it I saw. Yeah. I like this little chat thing right here that lets me like see the chat without having to pull it up on YouTube, especially because for some reason the YouTube chat never wants to show me what Ray is typing, but I can't scroll back up in case I missed anything because I was busy yapping. But yeah, the reason that my dad and I were getting into this because we were revisiting some like, so my dad and I have this tradition that we've been doing together for years. Well, where sometimes at night, technically after my bedtime, my dad and I will go into his office and watch videos together. Typically YouTube videos. That's actually how I know about the Vanoss crew. Yeah, I watched plenty of that as a teenager. It was just sort of my little bonding thing with my dad. And for our most recent video expeditions, we've been come on, words, brain, words. We've been revisiting childhood shows, because he grew up watching He-Man and I grew up watching Glitter Force. By the way, I'm gonna test something. It doesn't like pause the stream or do some weird things if I try to go to a different app while I'm live. Crumbs. Oh wait, is it? Hang on. Dipping out. I needed to see if the stream would still work if I left to use a different app on my tablet. Sadly, it does not. Oh well, and now there's only one person watching. Oh, but YouTube says there's 3. Which is it? No, it's 2. I can't get numbers straight. I can't get clear numbers. Anyway, the reason I had to step out, I'm sorry for stepping out, but I had to step out because I need to show you guys this screenshot we got while we were rewatching He-Man. This is a fantastic reaction image. Can we make this a reaction image, please? I'm begging, internet. Please, can we make this a reaction image? It would be so funny. Look at this. This was just like the perfect freeze frame that my dad and I captured by accident. Feel free to screenshot it or whatever. I will be using this as a reaction image from now on because it's beautiful. It's glorious. It's glorious and beautiful and beautiful and glorious. Yeah. That was a beautiful image. Okay. Screenshot it while you can. I'm taking it down now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I'm taking it down. I can't just leave it up. Unless you guys want me to leave it up. Let me know if you want me to leave it up for the rest of the stream. Leave it. Okay. I'll pull it back up. There. Now he's just a part of the stream. I think this guy was like the king or something. Yeah, he was the king. He was the king. I found their Japanese names. The pink one is called Miyuki Hoshizora. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I am a filthy American. I'm probably gonna butcher all of these. Miyuki Hoshizora. The yellow one is Yayoi Kaisei. The blue one. So I'm gonna. It feels weird to call them the pink one, the blue one when I grew up with them. I'm sorry. I'm gonna revert back to my filthy American ways of calling them by the Western name, just so we know who's who. Emily's Japanese name is Miyuki Hoshizora. The Lily's Japanese name is Yayoi Kise. I'm probably butchering all these. Chloe's Japanese name is Rika Aoki, I think. I can't pronounce things. Help. Kelsey was Akane Hino. Okay, that one I could pronounce. And April was Nao Midorikawa. I think I said those all correctly. I am so sorry for how horribly I probably butchered them. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not Japanese. So, the cookie war is finally coming to the forefront. We're nearing the end of this plot. This feels weird. This feels so weird. Well, it's okay. I couldn't tell who was who because I don't know the show. You good, man. But yeah, they removed a lot of gay things, they removed a lot of Japanese things, and they changed the character's name. So now I'm kind of curious to see if somewhere out there's actually a good dub of the show, because I only ever watched the Netflix one. I hope the characters are still as funny in both Japanese and English, because in English, I know with the dub I watched, I know they removed a lot of stuff, I know there's controversy, but I'm sorry, but everyone in that show was written so damn funny. I don't know what they paid those writers, but it wasn't enough. Everyone was funny. Yeah, anyone else like the Jester guy from Glitter Force? He creeped me the fuck out when I was a kid. He creeped me out. Since day one, he creeped me out. And you know what? I blame that man for the existence of every single Shadow Milk Cookie simp on the internet. I don't care that not everyone watched Glitter Force. I don't care that maybe some of them don't even remember that guy. I don't care. On some subconscious level, I think he is to blame for anyone who glazes Shadow Milk Cookie. And you know that you don't have the evidence to argue with me or prove me wrong on this. But like, yeah, he creeped me the hell out. He creeped me out. I'm sorry, he creeped me out. He was creepy. He was very creepy. To me, even when I was younger, he was the creepiest creep that ever creeped in the history of creep. I heard something similar about what happened in Glitter Force with Tokyo Mew Mew. One of the characters, I believe her name was Pudding, her Chinese heritage was completely erased. I haven't watched Tokyo Mew Mew. The only Tokyo Mew Mew exposure I have was very minimally and through Prism. Any Jinja Ninja OWO enjoyers? Any June enjoyers? Any Prism enjoyers? All y'all are welcome here. Honestly, June is my idol, both as a YouTuber and as an artist. I grew up watching their shit, and I still watch their shit to this day, cause it's good shit. The highest quality of shit. remember, I don't know if YouTube still has it, but I remember YouTube having this feature where, like, you'd have an AI try its best to summarize a live stream or, like, a video. And watching and making the AI, like, try to summarize my live streams was so, honestly, for a while, it was just so oddly entertaining to me. I can't explain why, because I don't really have an explanation why, if I'm honest, but there was just something so oddly amusing about watching the robot try to explain my videos and their pure chaotic energy. It makes me want to make a Magical Girl cast so much. I am a June enjoyer. Hell yeah! Honestly, them rebooting Prism is what made me realize, like, I need to be open and honest with myself that I have basically been slowly but surely rebooting Awaken. Like, I can't lie to myself. I have to be honest. I have to be honest with myself and admit that I'm rebooting the series. And you know what? That's okay. I started the series when I was a kid. Naturally, ideas change, and I find better ways to click a story together and better grasp an idea of what I want to, of the story I want to tell. You know how you know how Prism originally started as a Tokyo Mew Mew ripoff? Yeah, well, here's a fun story. Awaken started off as an Undertale ripoff. I'm not kidding. It was originally going to be called the Mountain Tale. Well, I guess if it's Empress Dowager, it'd be Queen Dowager X. Queen Dowager Sora? Her name was originally gonna be Toriel. Our titular bitchular Charlie, our girl, our beloved, she went through a variety of names. Her very first one was Chara. When I tell you Awaken started off as an Undertale ripoff, I mean it started off as an Undertale ripoff and somehow grew into its own thing. I don't know how it happened. All I know is that I'm here now. I feel like fucking Ash and the other guy with bisexual hair that I don't remember the name of from the Pokemon Black and White movies. I don't know how I got here. All I know is that I'm here now. It's gone from being Undertale to being Alice in Wonderland somehow. And you know what? I'm not complaining. I wouldn't have the story any other way. Also, in between the phases of Charlie being named Chara and Charlie being named Charlotte, she was originally named Monica after the DDLC character, the Doki Doki Literature Club character. Yes, her. If you guys ever wonder where my love of candy-coated horror came from, that's where it came from. Been watching Jinja since high school. I have to, girl. I love Prism in the current lore, yeah. Who's your favorite Prism character? For me, it would have to be, Aloe, Neneko, cause she's messy, and, I feel like it's too obvious to say Apollo or Cynthia. Ooh, another favorite of mine from Prism, Zuzu. I love Zuzu. I love the idea of a character who pretends to be a bimbo just to gaslight people as a little treat. I love that. I love that idea so much. I'm almost tempted to steal it. Ah, Zuzu, my beloved. Me who wrote mostly fan fiction in middle school. Honestly, me who read mostly fan fiction in middle school. Like, when I was younger, I didn't read books. I read fan fiction about whatever I was hyperfixating on at the time. Mostly of whatever ship in the fandom I was hyperfixating on. But yeah, what are you guys' favorite characters from Prism? And also, from what I've yapped about the lore of my series to you guys, do you guys have a favorite Awakened character? Or like any opinions on my characters? Good, bad, neutral? I would love to hear them. I would love to hear them so much. It would boost whatever's left of my confidence. I love Zuzu for that too. I love woman taking back the meaning of bimbo. Yeah, also, it took me way too damn long to realize the term himbo came from the term bimbo. Y'all. How I managed to graduate high school and get into college with my level of stupidity, I truly have no idea sometimes. Some of my first OCs were Pokemon OCs in as an actual Pokemon. A few of my faves, and I gave them little outfits and accessories. Their siblings were shinies. I think my characters were Pokemon too at one point, or like Pokemon people hybrids. Like, you know, like imagine Tokyo Mew Mew, but instead of animal ears and tails, it's Pokemon ears and tails. I would draw and imagine their little adventures in this forest, and for some reason, I love Cat, and the little girl forgot her name. And whatever Hokuro's new name is. I don't think Hokuro got a new name. I think Hokuro's just Hokuro. And I love Hokuro dearly. Sarah, that's Yu's new name. Yeah, the kid's name used to be Yu. I know who you're referring to. Her name used to be Yu. Her name is now Sarah. It's Sarah. And honestly, I love Sarah too. She is so cute. She's so cute. Getting into fiction, very recently, I've discovered that I have cuteness aggression. Immense cuteness aggression. Gotcha, thank you. No problem. No problem, dude. Bloop. I love Nanako. Her lore is really good and interesting and tragic. Also me whose new cast of characters I've been cooking up a story for were inspired by old creepypastas. Well, at least I know I'm not alone. Awaken might have started off as a blatant Undertale ripoff, but I'm proud of where it is today. I truly, dearly love these characters. I love how she's the catalyst for Yaoi. What are you referring to? Am I not remembering something? Am I not remembering something and I'm gonna feel really stupid after you explain this to me? That's probably what's gonna happen. Go ahead and explain it to me so I can feel stupid and get it over with. Nanako being the catalyst for yaoi. When is Nanako a catalyst for yaoi? Like, I'm genuinely scanning my brain trying to figure it out. I know there's probably some homosexual goings-on between Apollo and Ben, but I don't understand. I am confusion. I am immense confusion. For we are all just fragile things, soft and small, and haven't been here before, where the outside can harm you, reject you, but just stay close, and I will protect you. I'm sorry for randomly bursting into singing Fragile Things from Centaur World, but I can't help it because I can't get that damn song out of my head. Especially because it makes me think about my OCs. Fuck. Like, the way I would describe Charlie as a mother is if Wama Wink and Brendan Rogers' character Kathy had a baby. That's what she's like. Like, very loving and protective, but also a crazy loud lunatic who's just desperately trying to keep this chaotic family from tearing everything apart. Desperately trying to keep her shit together and everyone else's shit together. While also being a loud, crazy lunatic the whole time. Because didn't they fall in love with her at different points and then they met stuff to do with the kids? And yeah. What? I don't understand. I am confusion. I am confused. I'm combuzzled. Are you referencing something that's in the lore video or in one of the new, like, video game related videos? Because I haven't. As an Apollo and Ben falling in love with Nanako at different points, and then they met at this stuff with kids. Oh, no. Ben is the biological father of Apollo's adopted kids. And then Ben tried to take the girls back and was super confused as to why they were calling this random lanky dude their dad. And eventually it's because of the kids that Ben fathered and Apollo adopted after Cynthia left the Radiance Courts to go live her own life. Then, that's how the yaoi ends up happening. And I love their yaoi. I love their yaoi so much. June, if you ever end up watching this stream, I know it's probably like 1 in a 500 million chance, but if you ever end up watching this, please give us more yaoi, please. Also, please give me more doomed/toxic Yuri with Neneko and Kat. And on top of that, also, please give me more Zuzu just being Zuzu. Please and thank you. That is all I ask. Cynthia! There you go. I also like Cynthia. I like the idea of a Mamma Mia inspired character. Like, also, Donna Sheridan. Honestly, same story for me. Would. Would also. I need to yap about the cast of Emerald Edge to you and Ray more, especially since I'm trying to get their story out on paper. You do, actually. Even if it's just telling us a random headcanon about one of these fuckers. Just tell us more shit about your OCs whenever it occurs to you. The names. I was talking about Cynthia the whole time. Fuck. Also, if Cynthia survived to the main plot, the three of them would be a polycule. You cannot convince me otherwise. I recently downloaded Patreon, and I'm getting ready to start a Patreon. So yeah, that should be fun. It's mostly gonna be where I post a lot of like works in progress, like for videos and stuff. Might also be where I post like dumb little things of my characters, like works in progress, and I'm planning on having it be as low as possible. Like I know for June their lowest is like $2 a month, so I'm pretty sure let me set it to $1 a month. I think, probably, maybe. I'm hoping. I really am. Because I know I am inconsistent as all hell, so I would feel really bad charging any higher. Love a character who haunts the narrative. In her case, literally. You crashing out over this name, man. Now you know how I felt when I thought Glitter Breeze was named fucking Glitter Winter. If you were wondering how it felt when I realized that her name was Glitter Breeze, not Glitter Winter, now you do. Now you know exactly how I felt. I like when a character haunts the narrative, but for the longest time we never do anything about them. Example, I can't words, god damn it. Rose Quartz from Steven Universe. One thing I like about Rose Quartz, I know she's kind of a controversial character, but I like Rose Quartz for the simple fact that one thing I really like about her is that we see her character arc in reverse. Like, we watch the progression from her going from being this whiny little spoiled little shit to being the proud and dependable and honestly kind of motherly leader that the Gems relied on and that Greg and Pearl fell in love with. But what I like most about the way that her character arc from spoiled little shit to dependable strong leader was that throughout the course of Steven Universe and Steven Universe Future, we see it backwards. We start off with the knowledge that she became a strong, dependable, and motherly person, but over time we learn about how she used to be a little shit. And I love that concept so dearly. I love it. I love it. Chef's kiss. Mwah. I love how we got Rose Quartz's character in reverse as well. Hell yeah. Honestly, I need more reverse character arcs where, like, we know that, like, in story, they went from point A to point B, but the way we see the flashbacks of them, it's ordered from us watching them go from point B to point A. I just feel like that too. That's the wrong kind of too. I just wish less fans hated her for it. Like, yes, she had selfish reasons, but she wanted to leave her future in the hands of someone who can improve and grow. Something she felt. Like she couldn't do it. Like she couldn't do. Also, another thing I like about Steven Universe Future, I know there's a lot of people who don't like Steven Universe Future, and those people can kiss my butt. One other thing I like about Steven Universe Future is that it acknowledges that a lot of cartoon heroes have very traumatic childhoods. Like, literally saving the world over and over again leaves physical and psychological scars on that person. Like, Steven has multiple healed fractures in his fucking skull. And on top of that, he basically his gem is reacting with PTSD. Steven basically developed gem PTSD from all the times people literally tried to murder him for being his mom. Also, find me a Wendy's. Feel free to challenge me to a duel with a pool noodle in a Wendy's parking lot if you disagree with me. But Greg wasn't a good dad and he wasn't a bad dad. He was the best dad he could have been in his situation. Like a young, directionless adult who had no idea what the fuck he was doing at any point in his life, suddenly falling in love with an alien woman and having a half-alien son, and also now she's gone. And on top of that, you've spent most of your life not being able to be responsible with yourself because you weren't really presented the option, but that led to you being irresponsible with your kid and literally never taking them to a doctor. Like, Greg is not a good dad, and he is not a bad dad. He was the best dad he could have been in his situation, for the most part. I definitely think there's places he could have improved, but Greg Universe isn't a good or bad dad. He was a good enough dad. And I mean, hey, Steven made it to adulthood and became a mostly functional adult, so good enough. He was a very gray era dad. Characters need to see them reaching that while also learning what got them to point B. I love that they acknowledge that if you make a child the chosen one, the legendary hero is going to save the world. They're going to get trauma. Yes. Sorry if I'm not watching the chat. I've been doodling the soul jams. These might be the first thing I upload to Patreon. It's like some of the physical doodles I'm doing during these live streams. That might be cool, right? What are you guys' zodiac signs? Like, if you know. Mine is Aries. And, like, I get that there is some merit to the zodiac signs, but, like, zodiac would dictate that Aries is aggressive. And despite how I act in these live streams, I'm not actually all that aggressive in general conversation. I am constantly afraid of making people mad at me. Like, yes, I am willing to fight someone in a Wendy's parking lot with a pool noodle over an opinion, but if you're genuinely upset with me, I will cry. Like, but a realistic end to the child hero stuff. Gemini. Neat. You're not aggressive, you're passionate. Big difference. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fire is often associated with passion. By the way, does anyone else have a particular zodiac or a particular zodiac element that just kind of scares them a little bit? I mean, maybe it's the fire sign in me talking, maybe it's the traumatic relationship in me talking, but water signs are fucking scary and no one really acknowledges that they're fucking scary very often. Like, they're often depicted as very, like, oh, they're so sensitive and emotional. They're, like, the good friend. They're the mom friend. No, they're not the zodiac sign that won't shank you. They're just the zodiac sign that'll be better at shanking you and getting away with it. No, I'm sorry. A water sign won't shank you. They'll develop a deep friendship with you until you would trust them with your life, and then they'll poison your tea. With either actual poison or laxatives, depending on what you did to piss them off. Also, they know their way around emotions. I know a lot of people think that's a trait of a good friend. Is no one else creeped the fuck out by that? Like, bro. Dude. No thank you. Like, someone who knows things about how I'm feeling better than I can understand or articulate it. Something about that being anyone other than a paid professional therapist. Don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of it. Since I'm a Gemini, I like to joke that I have a twin or other half somewhere. Well, yeah, you gotta keep something in your basement. Scorpio, I'm ruled by Mars and Pluto. Water sign ruled by war and death. Yeah. Wait, you're a water sign? I am today years old when I have learned this. Please don't take too much offense to me calling y'all scary. It's true, I don't take it back, but I don't mean to hurt your feelings with it. I'm sorry if I have hurt your feelings with this true statement about a lot of water signs. I'm not going to retract my truth, but I genuinely apologize if my truth has accidentally hurt your feelings. If researching Poseidon has taught me anything, it's that anything that has to do with water may be emotional and sensitive, but is a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of characters associated with water and the ocean. Look to any deity associated with the ocean. There's a 50-50 chance of whether or not they're going to be fun and pleasant, and whether or not they are going to be very willing to make your life hell if you give them a reason to. And I feel like that sounds like a good summary of anyone whose personality is based on water. Also, I know that fire signs tend to get along with air signs, and like water signs tend to get along with earth signs because they tend to be more grounded and responsible. So I like calling earth and water signs, I like calling their friendship the mud signs. Like, not to be mean at all. Mud is a beautiful and important resource. It's solely just because if you mix earth and water, you get mud. the mud signs, aka the people you want to have at least one of to make sure there's a responsible human being amongst your gang of hooligans. Gemini's an air sign, by the way. Hell yeah. But the thing is, like, I don't know what to call the friendship between the air signs and the fire signs, because when you add air to fire, you just get more fire. Smoke signs, maybe? Do it. Chat. Fellow fire and air signs. Do we claim being called the smoke signs? Exhibit A to that is that very example. Poseidon and his wife, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. One is the stormy seas, the other is the calm and beautiful waters. Tactical. The tactical nukes. Oh, god damn it. Holy fuck me. Damn it. Nukes have nothing to do with their ID camera that came to mind. Ray, are you still there? Because I can't breathe. Like, as a Scorpio, I get my sign as every reason to be seen as scary. I'm a water sign ruled by Mars and Pluto, war and the dead. Oh, no, it's not because you're a Scorpio specifically. It's because water signs just freak me out a little bit. Maybe it's because I dated a water sign that left me with like, maybe it's because I had a bad romantic relationship with a water sign. Maybe it's because I don't like being emotionally vulnerable when I did not consent to being emotionally vulnerable. I have no idea. There's just something about the water sign's ability to connect with people, to connect to the Wi-Fi of other people's feelings without even needing to ask for their permission. But fuck, it still hurts when people make us out to be scary and judgmental and untrustworthy and will ruin your life. No. Y'all aren't untrustworthy at all, actually. Y'all can forgive, you just never forget. Honestly, like, I didn't know you're a Scorpio, but now I am very happy that you are my friend and not my enemy. That's the thing, is that, like, a friendship or enemyship, depending on which one you have with a water sign, it's like playing heavy in TF2. If you're winning, it's great. If you're losing, it sucks. Like, you feel me? Like, it's not just Scorpio either. Cancer and Pisces are also... Y'all ain't innocent either. They ain't innocent either, and I'm tired of people acting like they are. Like, maybe it's just my experience talking, but Cancer is crazy and scary a little bit. But, like, with a good Cancer, you feel, like, really heard, you feel, like, really cared about, very deeply, like, a very deep emotional connection with someone, like, you feel like you would really have each other's backs. With a less than good Cancer, you feel more like you're walking on eggshells. Also, Pisces, I don't know much about Pisces, but again, they're also water signs. Their emotions can also be just as scary. And their ability to connect to the Wi-Fi of my emotions also freaks me the out. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other people. Okay. As long as you're not mad at me. I'm just glad you're not mad at me. You're still my friend, right? Like, you still want to be friends, even though I said water signs are scary because it's true. I mean, again, I would much rather have you as a friend than an enemy. And even just in general, I'm very glad you are my friend. You've made me very happy as my friend. But now all the times that you were able to act as an emotional common sense filter, and were very good at comforting me, suddenly those make an alarming amount of sense. Like, that's the thing. I feel like I finally have a good way to simplistically say it. With water signs, they know their way around emotions, and that's what makes them a great friend and a terrible enemy. Like, they say pick your battles, and if that battle has even a smidgen of a chance of emotional or psychological warfare needing to get involved, do not pick it with a water sign. Just don't. That's not a good fight to be in for anybody involved. It's not a good fight for you to be in, and it's not even a good situation for them to have to be in. Like, yes, they can use your emotions or their emotions to make your life hell, but that doesn't mean it's a pleasant experience for them to have to do it. Lol, high empathy and autism, go burr. Yes, I still want to be your friend. Yay! Friendship saved. Yeah, I've never felt like you put out my fire. I feel like we're more like a boiled water situation where we can rile each other up, but not in the bad way, more of like the good way. Like, we're not yelling at each other, we're yelling to each other about the same thing. With the air signs, though, like, they're very, like, they're known for being rather logical, and like, I feel like, with whatever shenanigans, Aries is the one, like, the fire sign is the one who came up with the idea, but the air sign is the one who actually made the plan, because Lord knows the fire sign can't do it. Like, if I had to drag someone into committing let's commit chaos for funsies bestie with me, I would either contract Sussy or Blueberry. Not because I don't think you would be incapable of causing chaos, Ray, but I just feel like they would be more likely to be talked into it. You would mostly just be there like, please just at least try not to hurt yourself doing this. Like, you are the common sense friend out of us. Like, Blue is just my little buddy. They have little buddy status. I don't know how else to frame how I have always felt my friendship with them other than just little buddy. They're my buddy. Buddy. But you're sort of like a mentor figure almost. Like, if suddenly we ended up in a situation that's starting to look a lot like a Disney movie, you are the person I am constantly keeping an eye on to make sure you don't end up in like a herd of buffaloes or something. Because you have mentor/parental friend vibes, and I know that is the character that always gets killed off first. So, like, if we ever end up in a movie-like situation, everyone protect Ray at all costs. They are the parental/mentor friend, and that is always, almost always, the one who gets killed off first just to hurt the audience. But yeah, air signs, they're pretty cool, things considered. Like, I don't know, man, they chill. They just vibing. They just kind of vibing all the time. Like, even when they're not saying anything, it's not because they're, like, thinking about what to say next. I mean, they might be, probably, but, like, for the most part, they're just here for the vibes. And I love that. I love that they're here for the vibes. I would like to provide adequate vibes for them to be here for. Yeah, a little, but I still have my moments of chaos I like to indulge sometimes. Just a little, but oh, I'm so flattered. Oh my god. Yeah, it's like, if we ever end up in a movie-like situation, please don't die. Not only because we love and care about you, but also because you are arguably the most sensible and rational person in this group. If you die, we are all of us boned. Because I feel like Blue would be freaked out and worried. I would be generally incompetent, and Sussy, like, I don't know, like, out of the three of us, I feel like Sussy is like the second most competent person of our, like, 4-person group chat. It is like the middle of the night. Y'all are amazing friends for being on the stream with me at, like, the middle of the fucking night. Again, I know y'all are here for the vibes, and I hope that I provide adequate vibes for y'all to be here for. Also, Blue, you've been kind of quiet throughout the conversation. You good? Just checking on you. You okie dokie? Are you Doki Doki Literature Club? I mean, it's only 9:09 here for me. 9:19. Fuck. I mean, it's only 9:19 here for me, lol. You lucky bitch. It is 12:19 for me. So I'm the brain cell? I'm the shared brain cell? You're the shared brain cell! So, like, don't die, because we're probably boned if you do. Because, like, Blue could probably figure it out, but they'd be too busy, like, stressed and freaked out. I cannot figure it out, and I know I can't figure it out. You're talking to someone who grew up watching Glitter Force, and for the past 2 days thought that Chloe transformed into Glitter fucking Winter, and not Glitter Breeze. I am a dumbass. Yeah, I was listening to Good Luck Babe, Bad Romance. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I fuck with you, Blue. You keep it real about just being here for the vibes. Does anyone know Sussy Zodiac? Yay! Clip. I love how y'all just get no context for that. And you know what? You don't get context for that. Cute. You know what, Ray? Just to make it even for me kind of sort of slandering the water signs by calling y'all scary, are there any, like, fears or concerns or anything you've noticed, like, struggles you've ever had with the fire signs, like, in theory or in experience? Like, go on ahead. I won't get my feelings hurt. Unless you're mad at me directly for those things, then I will do everything in my power to make it right to you. But I don't remember. Okay. Like, people say we're intense. But, like, that's the fun of it, is that we're going to make you intense about whatever we're being intense about, too. And what's that? You didn't care enough about this to be intense about it? Too bad, motherfucker. Boo-hoo, cry me a damn river. Yeah, you're the fun kind of intense, the one that will light a fire in me, not burn me alive. Yeah, like, again, when you and I are yelling, we're not yelling at each other, we're yelling with each other. You're welcome. Seriously, though, I couldn't be more grateful to have you guys. And again, I'm sorry I called the water sign scary, even though it's true. You're not scary. I just know in the back of my head, though, that, like, I'm very lucky that I have you as a friend and not an enemy. Like, again, as I said, water signs know a lot about how to, like, handle and work with their own emotions and other people's emotions. And that is what makes them a great friend and a terrible enemy. I'm not sure, really. I don't have anything bad to say about the water signs. I love the intensity. You mean the fire signs? I love the intensity. I'm not offended by you calling the water signs scary. I get it all. I once asked my dad the question, because, like, I was talking about how I was, like, kind of scared of the water signs. Like, are there any of the zodiacs you ever found scary? And Dad's like, for a while I always was, like, a little scared of the fire signs, which, not only am I a fire sign, my mother, the man he's been married to for many years now, is also a fire sign. But, like, he's like... But, like, it's more so, like, out of the fear of making people mad at him, and I was just sitting there like, oh, that's where I got it from. But, like, he was, like, really scared of, like, making a fire sign mad at you, because, like, that is honestly not difficult to do. But also, my mom kind of acted as his important life lesson of you can't please everybody. You can't keep everybody happy all the time. I'm glad my mom was able to teach him that, I guess. I don't have anything bad to say about the fire signs. I really like the intensity. It's fun. It's infectious. And I'm not really mad about you calling the water sign scary, because I get 100%. Because, you know, not every water sign is going to ruin your life. It's more about the potential, and I can see why that is scary. I just see me as someone who knows their strengths, I guess. Yeah. Like... Like, I was thinking about this earlier. Like, in terms of the zodiac elements, like, committing murder or something, fire is the element most likely to talk about doing it just because they're mad at the person they're talking about doing it to, but they wouldn't actually do it. We're pansies. If we actually made them bleed, there would be a moment of panic. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to use my empathy to hurt you guys. I don't think I'm gonna be able to forgive myself. I know you don't. I know you don't. But, like, for the air signs, I don't really know, but I'm pretty sure I don't think they'd commit a murder, or if they did, it was probably manslaughter. Which is, if my memory serves, the term used for when it was an accident. So it's not murder, it's manslaughter if it was an air sign, at least if you ask me. I don't think they would ever intentionally kill someone, and I think if they did take a life, it was not intentionally. With the water signs and the earth signs, though, I also include the earth signs in this, the mud signs, if you will. I don't think they're any more or less likely to take a life than the other signs, but I do feel like if they do, they're a lot more likely to get away with it than the smoke signs, especially if they work together. Like, on their own, they already have much better like, again, I don't think they would be any more or less likely to do it than the fire or air signs. But I think that if they did, if any of the elements, like, actually did take a life, the earth and like, if they had to work in a team to cover up a murder they'd committed or something, I feel like the water and earth sign would be a lot more likely to get away with it than the fire and air sign. I don't know why. Call it my hunch. Call it the vibes, but I don't think we're doing it. I don't think we're pulling it off successfully. The man he's been married to, well, I know you meant woman, but it's still funny as hell. Did I say man? I am stupid. Fuck, I typed fire, why did autocorrect to water? Womp womp. I don't know, dude. I really couldn't tell you why it autocorrected. Autocorrect is weird. But yeah, my dad used to be a little bit afraid of fire signs, and then he married a fire sign woman. And then his first and youngest were also fire signs. Ironically enough, his middle child is also an air sign. Like, there are no mud signs in my well, no, there's my dad's dad, who is an earth sign. But, like, I remember talking to my dad about, like, zodiacs of our family members. Even in my extended family, I don't want to say we don't have any, because we might have, like, one or two, but, like, in, like, the relatives I immediately think of, there aren't water signs in my family. We've got plenty of fire signs, plenty of air signs, heck, even a couple earth signs, but we don't have water signs in my family. And that's not something we did on purpose, that's just a weird coincidence. So I can't immediately think of anyone in my nuclear family or in my relatives that I talk to fairly often. I can't think of any of us that are water signs. It's just neat. It's just interesting how that worked out. I've been thinking of privating the original video I made about Charlie and Clarice's birthday, because I'm a little iffy on what I should make their zodiac. Because on one hand, Charlie is intense and crazy, as we've already established, but that's the thing. She's crazy, wackadoodle, and, like, I remember this one audio where it's like, lawful chaos. I have a very strict moral code, but nobody can figure out what the hell it is. That summarizes Charlie, and that also summarizes Aquarius, which is her current zodiac. I've, like, briefly considered every now and then, like, maybe I should change it to air signs, because they're more for... Because, like, air signs aren't particularly known for being emotional, so I was thinking maybe I should change it to Aries, or, like, a fire sign like mine. But she also has her twin sister, Clarice. And, like, both of them, they're both clever, but they can also both be fucking crazy. Or at the very least, they seem crazy if you don't understand the very different moral system that they're operating from, which will inevitably be very different from yours. Now that could come from them being half barely fathomable eldritch deities of emotion and nature and life itself, or it could come from them being Aquariuses. Who knows? Blair, I definitely know, is an Earth sign, specifically a Capricorn, because I learned that Capricorns are very slow, meticulous, they take things steady, they're very traditional, they care a lot about family, and generational hierarchy, and I said, yeah, that sounds like my down-to-earth werewolf. Because if you know how an actual pack works, you would understand why the Capricorn's trait of social hierarchy being based on generational hierarchy making perfect sense. Yeah, so Blair is a Capricorn. That's why her birthday is December 30th. I haven't worked out a lot of the zodiacs for my other characters. I've considered making Irina a Pisces, because not only is she the demigoddess of the ocean and also basically a bureaucratic gentle giant who deeply reveres and respects every life that she must take into the underworld, so being a water sign makes sense for her. But the reason I was thinking of Pisces specifically maybe being a water sign has something to do with why I like writing characters getting into petty bullshit and acting these crazy revenge plots with each other. No, it's just because sometimes a train wreck is fun to watch. That's the actual reason. But anyway, the reason I was thinking of Pisces, possibly Pisces specifically for Annie. No, not Annie. That's her old name. Irina. Bleh. I can't keep all these names. Irina. The reason I was thinking of making her Pisces specifically is because my dad has told me before that for each zodiac, there's something that they have to teach to the zodiac that came before them that zodiac doesn't want to learn, but they also have something to learn from the zodiac that comes after them that they themselves don't want to fucking learn. Unlike Capricorn comes before Aquarius, and the lesson that Capricorn has to learn from Aquarius that Capricorn would very much like to not have to learn, thank you very much, is learning to think outside of the box and thinking beyond just what you were taught and what makes sense. Which, when you consider the fact also that Charlie, the Aquarius in this situation, is a demigoddess of chaos and emotion, among other things, and Blair, the Capricorn, is the demigoddess of logic and reason and consequences and what makes sense, all that good stuff, is... Honestly, that makes this lesson even more thematically appropriate, that the being of logic has to learn from the being of chaos that you can't calculate and predict everything. And you can't just go off of what you... And you have to think outside the box, even if she doesn't want to have to learn that, and she especially doesn't want to have to learn that from an idiot. I like picking at my favorite character's emotions brain. IDKY, psychology is a special interest for me. Yeah, Ray, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think that's just the autism. I don't know if that's your zodiac, but that's definitely your autism. Ooh. I might have pinched my hand really bad. I'll be fine. Might want to get a band-aid later, though. Anyway, back to me talking about my OCs. The reason I was thinking of making Irina a Pisces is because, if memory serves, don't quote me on this, I might be wrong, but Pisces comes after Aquarius, and since Charlie and Clarice are twins, they share the same birthday, which means they share the same zodiac of Aquarius. And basically, I don't remember exactly how my dad phrased it. He probably put it better than I did. But the lesson that Aquarius doesn't want to have to learn from Pisces, but they need to, is learning to let things go. Which, again, seems very thematically appropriate given that Clarice is the demigoddess of life and nature and has spent a lot of her life desperately trying to preserve it and being heartbroken and devastated when she fails and it dies. She feels like she failed each living thing that has died. Like she failed to keep it alive. This whole thing mainly started with many years ago when the girls were younger. Not like little kids. I want to say like somewhere in their late teens. They were friends with this elderly woman named Azalea. Azalea was very nice and sweet to the twins. But one day, while she was out in the garden with Clarice, while the girls were visiting her, Charlie was down in the basement, like, cleaning up some things, and also helping herself to some things Azalea said she could have. But Azalea was out in the garden, with Clarice, and she died of old age, because it was just her time to go. But Clarice was friends with the old woman and was devastated when she died and horrified when she saw the Reaper herself come to take her away. And from then on, Clarice was determined to spend so much of her life losing her fucking mind, but in a much more subtle way than Charlie did. Like, Charlie lost her mind because she already had a lot of mental conditions that should have been diagnosed and was going to inevitably lose her mind anyway. But Clarice lost her mind over one specific thing: trying to conquer or defeat or at least prevent death. Death is an inevitability to her, but to her, it's a failure she has to figure out how to beat. To her, death is perceived as this looming, terrifying force that keeps taking from her, that keeps taking living things away from her, no matter how hard she tries to help them. So imagine her surprise, a long time later, after all these years of struggling against death, when she ends up in the underworld through one shenanigan or another, and she discovers that death is actually a gentle giant bureaucrat who couldn't hurt a fly if she wanted, who couldn't bring herself to hurt a fly, and is basically a big friendly rotting corpse who is incredibly gentle and kind to all she must take away. Like, Annie doesn't steal away from life just to keep it all for herself or some other villainous reason that Clarice had convinced herself of for years, just trying to rationalize why everything she cared about had to die. No, it was simply just because Irina was just doing her fucking job. Like, Irina was just doing her job in keeping the balance of life and death. Something she understood just a little bit better than Clarice, because Irina's technically undead. But I can get into that another time. But yeah, essentially, Clarice keeps desperately trying to hold on to living things, trying to keep them all from facing the inevitability of death that they're going to have to one way or another. And so it makes sense for me for Annie to be a Pisces, because again, as I stated, basically the lesson that Pisces has to teach Aquarius, that Aquarius doesn't want to have to learn, is learning to let go. That you didn't fail them just because they couldn't live forever. They simply had to die inevitably. I am not your enemy. I am not your enemy. I am simply doing my job. It is not something I want to do. It is simply something I must do. And like for on Clarice's end, the cycle of life and death, and her only being able to understand the side, like fully, truly understand the side of life, for her it's horror. But on Irina's end, it's almost curiosity. Because, like, she's been surrounded by death her whole life. A lot of the people in her family tended to die pretty young. Like, her family just had a history of dying younger than, like, it probably intended. Like, they would get sick, or there would be an accident, or they would just drop dead sometimes. And she found a lot of her life surrounded by death. Her families were her parents did a lot of farming, but often their crop would die. Not knowing that it was because their daughter was literally death itself, or at least fated to become it. And Irina's mother died in childbirth because, she was literally birthing death. That's kind of a contradiction of things. So she's been surrounded by death her whole life, but that doesn't mean she devalues life in any way. If anything, the fact that every living thing around her was so fickle, so fleeting, it made her appreciate and curious about each and every one of them more, but it also led to her being more accepting of death, even when she befell with a mysterious illness that not even knowledge and logic herself could identify. That inevitably killed her. Yeah, whenever I refer to what happened with Irina's illness, I always say she died ? Because it wasn't really dying, but more so becoming something of the undead. Slowly but surely becoming something of the undead in order to successfully hold dominion and guide the dead. Yeah, Annie is kind of that combination of the two versions of, like, personifying a death god, where three versions, actually, where, on one hand, she's kind of like Hades and Persephone, where she watches over the land of the dead, or, several lands of the dead. It depends on a lot of what you believe in life, and also the kind of life you lived. Very complicated, very bureaucratic system. This is why I call her a little bureaucrat. She doesn't spend most of her time looming ominously over an orb or watching things wither and suffer and die, like you might think of a typical death villain. No, she spends most of her time filling out paperwork for the people in Australia who died to the fucking stonefish. Yeah, she's curious, but also fairly and understandably afraid of life and living things. Has been for most of her life. Since a dead thing can't hurt you, but a living thing will in order to stay a living thing. Not to mention, there's also the system of reincarnation in the underworld that, she manages a lot of, but, the thing is, she sends the souls up from the land of the dead to the garden of life to be born into new things once the souls have been, properly cleansed and cleaned and prepped and ready and willing and possibly needing the process. But she doesn't really understand anything about the process beyond that. She doesn't know how life is created, and she's kind of curious, but given the kind of things that she's seen living things capable of, she's also a bit reluctant when it comes to potentially satisfying her curiosity. She's like, I understand why mortals are afraid of me. They do not understand. They fear what they do not know, and there is no real way for them to know what will happen after they die. But why are they not equally afraid of life? Life created things like tigers and stonefish, but but they do not seem afraid of that. I don't know. She's fun to think about. Also, I apologize if I'm not doing the best Russian accent. I promise I'm trying my best with her. Also, I have been yapping about my characters, mainly Irina and Clarice's whole thing as life and death, for like a hot minute. Y'all good? I just started lore dumping on y'all. You okay? Like, are you still there? Holy shit, I'm so sorry. I just started yapping. And nobody stopped me. So, like, y'all good? And also, what do y'all think of, like, my whole thing with, Clarice and Irina? I like them. I like them a lot, honestly. Despite everything I just said, they're honestly a lot more wholesome Yuri than toxic Yuri than Charlie and Clarice are. After they have a much easier time working out their issues. And it's easier because A, it was built on miscommunication and a lack of understanding rather than just being pissed off by the other's appearance and actions and basically everything. And also because life and death are a cycle. Sensibility and nonsense are opposing concepts. Like active opposing forces. But in both cases, one cannot exist without the other. So what do y'all think of my Yuri yappings? I did not mean to go on a whole tangent here. I am so sorry. Are y'all still there? Like, it's showing that you're watching, but, like, I have no idea right now. Holy fuck. I just started talking, you know? I just started yapping. Holy crap, dude. Shut up, alarm. Can y'all say something in the chat? I'd at least like to hear from y'all after my whole yap session before I end the stream. Because I'm thinking of ending it soon because it is late. It is like 12:50 for me. So, yeah. I've been talking a while. Oh. Yeah, I'm here. Okay. So what do you think about the concepts I just rambled to you about? Right. I think I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me that you took the time out of your day to come sit with me and chat with me. I hope y'all have a lovely day tomorrow and have the sweetest of dreams. Bye bye.